So you guys want to know about starting a brand and how many designs you should start with, or it should be start with customs and which way to go. Well, you guys got questions and I've got answers. You guys are watching Ask Stan the Man. How you guys doing? My name is Stan Banks from TShirt Science, and I help you start t-shirt businesses from home, wherever you at. And like I said, we're going to get to the answer to this question right after the intro. Into the answer to this question, I want you guys to know you've been asking some great questions, so let's keep it rolling. Make sure you like this video, subscribe, and all of that good stuff. There may be a shift here coming up soon where these question of the days will be for members only. So if you're not a member, go down in the description below and become a member of my YouTube channel and keep yourself having access to all of the video content that I have coming. So with no further ado, let me pull up the question here. And this question came from a YouTube comment. What business model to pursue? Having a brand, how many designs do you start with? Doing custom jobs, or a combination of both? All right, this is a great question because it's a lot of ways to go. So I got a few different answers that I'm going to throw into this video. First and foremost, let's take it from a business model standpoint. So what are the different business models? The first business model is creating a brand for yourself that you're going to push on to people, whether that be a niche market or a generalized clothing line, creating a brand, right? And with brands, you have a certain amount of work to do because you have to find your certain customer. You're creating what you think people want to buy, right? So that's one business model. The other business model is creating custom stuff, which is stuff that people need. And in the midst of customs, that becomes like creating like apparel for different companies and what the companies may need, and a lot of different things like that. So with that in mind, those are the two business models that we're going to be discussing here, whether or not you're creating what you think people want to buy, or if you're creating what people want because they're coming to you to get what they have or want or need printed done by you. So if you have a brand, how many designs should you start with? So when it comes to a brand, there's something about like paralyzing them by analysis, right? Which means you got so much stuff to look at that ultimately I don't decide on anything. So I think the key aspect here is to design in collections, right? So a logo tee is only one part of your brand, right? It's just like most people just want to get a logo done and put the logo on a shirt. That's what I would call like the basics, or the basic logo tee, or maybe like in some of the brands they call them the essentials, right? The very, very basics to supporting the brand. But ultimately, what you want is to communicate the message of the brand, whether it's a wide-based brand or a niche market brand. You want to have designs that come off and say, this is what we're about. And you want to design them in collections. Now, big brands may drop a collection with 30 and 40 designs, right? Or 20 designs or 10 designs. But if you're starting on a budget and you're just starting out, you're trying to fill it out, what I suggest is you go from 3 to 5, right? And you can get by with one, right? Especially in the niche market, you only need one. But you hope that one of those 3 will resonate with people, and you got to kind of decide what the aesthetics is going to be for that collection. Especially if you got multiple collections that you're going to do over time. You may have a logo collection, you may have a graphic tee collection, you may have a secondary design based collection. Whatever those collections may be by color. What you end up having to happen is you want to keep it small. So now I see, oh, I like that, this, they got these few options. I'm not giving you 20 and 10 and 30 to choose from. And now you can kind of hone in. And sometimes I recently bought something from a brand that they had their basic logo tee, they had their messages, and I liked the message, but the design wasn't it. But they then came out with a new collection, and it was a logo-based collection, but the way that they presented it and the way that they redid their logo and stuff like that had flames on it. And I'm like, I like that. I gotta buy this one, right? So everything isn't gonna be for everybody, and we have to be okay with that. Thinking that you're gonna market to everybody and say, hey, you know, everybody's my market base. It's like you casting a wide net, and most of that net isn't going to support because it's not really for them, right? The closer I can speak to what I'm making and creating being for you is the more likely that I'm actually going to kind of like support you, right? So if I know that you care about what I care about, I am more likely to support. Y'all see that Dunkin' Donuts in there? TShirt Science fueled on Dunkin'. All right, so on the other hand, you got the customs business or the print business as far as printing for other people. So when it comes to printing for other people, I feel like this is the least amount of work you have to do, right? Because they're coming to you with an idea or a business or a logo sometimes already ready to go, and they just need it printed. So if you're coming to me to get something printed that you already know you want, I don't gotta sell you anything but the fact that I make shirts and I make them better than other people. But you're already here ready to purchase because you found me and you're ready to buy. So when it comes to doing that, it's like easy, it's like cherry picking. They already ready. Just right here at the basket. All you got to do is lay it up, slam dunk it home, right? And if it's a custom job, I suggest you put a little effort into it. If it's a company logo job, I suggest you put them on something a little bit more premium because they're gonna associate you with that difference, whatever the difference maker is for you, whether it be how fast you deliver, your customer service, the products that you select. You know, I came to the point where I stopped letting my customers decide between Guild and the Next Level based on price. I just gave them Next Level based on quality, right? Now, how do you decide which two to go? That's the key point to this whole question. How do you decide which is the right way to go? So what I tell people who want to start brands is if you start doing custom clothes, it's probably going to consume a lot of your time because you end up printing for everybody else once people know that you're printing, and it'll take away from your brand, right? So that is something that you got to consider in the back of the mind, but I can't tell you to turn away the money because it's so easy. Like I just said, it just comes to you. But what I will tell you is to pick and choose what it is that you will do and you want to, and stand firm on it. Okay. Sometimes you're going to take an extra dozen or 2 dozen or 100 shirts for a buddy or a friend or somebody who knows you, make your own clothing line because you need the money, which is perfectly fine. But always understand that whatever your main goal was, you want to refer back to it. So what I decided to do, and what a lot of people that are around me do, we make clothing lines because we make clothes, not because we wanted to make clothing lines, right? The biggest clothing line in the area is in the store, Thoroughthreads, which I share the back half of. And for 4 or 5 years, I was telling yo, you got to put this out, you got to put this out, you got to put this out. It only takes one design. All the designs that he used to put out here and there, sprinkling around, that his friends would buy and stuff like that, they never took off. When he got this one design, and what it allowed him to do was, like, yo, bro, now you got to cycle back through. You got the buzz, you got the name now. Now you cycle back through, and I hear people come in and say, yo, this design right here is hard, but that design is 6 years old. And I laugh about it because I understood where it was coming from. You guys got to understand, it only takes one person to wear your design. It only takes one design to take off, and now you can do pretty much whatever you want once you build that following. So that's the key. So which way should you go? I can't tell you which way you should go. You just got to make that decision based off of you. It's easy to print clothes for people who come in with their birthday and their holidays and their business. It's easy money, man. If you want to create a brand and you want to force a brand around people, whether it's a niche market brand or a wide brand, you know, everybody wants to be the next Supreme or something like that. But you got to be willing to beat that into people's head, the message and the standpoint of what your brand is about. If you're willing to do that, either way, you could be successful. But don't let creating custom clothes take away from what you got to do as a brand. And one more thing I'm going to add to this is, when I also figured out that when I tried to market a clothing brand with the fact that I make custom clothes, sometimes people may not want your clothing brand because they know they can get you to make whatever they got going on. So now you start becoming a printer for other brands. So just keep all of that stuff in mind as you guys move forward. And you know, this is a great question. So if you got a great question, put it down in the comments below. You know, becoming. Make sure if you're not a member, go ahead and hit that link down in the description. Become a member, because this section may just be for members only coming up here in the near future. This has been your boy Stan Banks answering another one of you guys' questions. Peace.